Hi, it's Min and we're back on She Walks the World, where I try and experiment to cook some of the international cuisines and dishes that I've tried on my travels around the world. You can read it on my blog at shewalkstheworld.com. Anyway, today I'm going to bring you to the Scandinavian country of Norway because we're going to cook a Norwegian dish and it's called the Kjøttkaker. The Kjøttkaker. Well, this is how it's pronounced.
Kjøttkaker.
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 Okay, never mind. We'll just call it the traditional Norwegian meatballs. I have to say, the last time I visited Oslo, Norway, I had the most delicious meal of these meatballs and I really want to replicate it right now so that I can get a taste of it again. You know, there are a lot of kinds of meatballs like the Swedish meatball that you can find in IKEA. There's also the American barbecue meatballs. But today, we're going to Norway. Let's start cooking! For the meatballs, what we need is 1 pack of ground beef, about 300 to 400 grams, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and 1.5 teaspoons of all-purpose flour, half an onion finely chopped, 1 teaspoon of 5-spice powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, a pinch of ground nutmeg, and a pinch of black pepper. And finally, about 1/3 cup of milk or water. For the gravy, we'll need about 1/4 cup of butter and 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 beef stock cube. I'm using one from Maggi that I'm going to put into 2 glasses of warm water to make a beef stock. I'm going to start with the dry ingredients, putting in the cornstarch, the all-purpose flour, the 5-spice powder, salt, black pepper, nutmeg, and stir it all up together. Then I'm going to put in the milk and whisk it until no lumps appear. And then I'm going to add in the ground beef as well as the onions and stir it until it's coated and sticky. Now once the ingredients are a nice sticky mess, it's time to make the meatballs and cook them. We're going to start with oiling up the pan, and then I'm going to use 2 spoons to make my beef balls. But if you have an ice cream scoop, it's much easier. You can do your beef ball any size you want, it's up to you. And it doesn't have to be round. I remember the beef balls I had in Oslo was just huge and uneven. And they came in all sorts of shapes like oval and some round. But I'm gonna make my oval since I'm using spoons. Turn the meatballs around and make sure that it's nice and brown, and you can always cover it with a lid and wait for it to cook further. Now once the meatballs look all nice and brown, it's time to take it out the pan and set it aside. Now using the same skillet, I'm going to melt the butter in it. I'm going to let the butter turn slightly brown. I'm going to add in the onion powder, continue stirring. I'm going to slowly add in the flour, whisking it as fast as I can. Don't want any lumps in our gravy. I'm going to whisk it until it's a nice light brown caramel color. And lift it up from the heat for a bit, and then I'll slowly pour in the water and beef cube that I've already diluted inside, and continue stirring some more. Now this is about as brown as my gravy can get, but if you want it slightly browner, you can always put in a little bit of beef gravy that is sold in the supermarket. You can add a little bit more water if you want it more diluted. So after the gravy has reached your desired consistency, we can add the beef balls back in and let it cook for maybe another 2 to 3 minutes. For the sides, I have boiled potatoes in salt water and buttered steamed vegetables. I'm going to then put the meatballs one by one onto the plate and put lots of gravy on them and the potatoes. Ta-da! My traditional Norwegian meatballs.
Wow!
Now it took a little bit more work than I expected to cook these meatballs, but I'm so glad that I got to bring a little bit of Norway, I think, back with me here in my home. I'm going to say it right this time. It's the Kjøttkaker. Anyway, if you want to see me cook any international dishes on the show, do let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to She Walks the World. This is Min. Thanks for joining me this time, and I'll see you again in the next episode. Bye! Time to enjoy my meatballs.